The objective of this lesson is to find a line or lines of symmetry in two-dimensional figures. Two-dimensional shapes were learned in previous lessons. For review, they are shapes with only two dimensions, meaning they have width and height, but no thickness. The vocabulary that will be used in this lesson is symmetry, which is when one half of a shape is exactly like the other half. The line where the shape can be divided to show the exact sides is called the line of symmetry. If a shape has no lines of symmetry, it is considered asymmetrical. Some shapes are symmetrical and some shapes are not. For the shapes that are symmetrical, there is a possibility that there may be more than one line of symmetry. Let's look at an equilateral triangle. All sides and angles are congruent on an equilateral triangle. Let's see if we can fold this shape so that one half is exactly the same as the other half. Then let's draw a line where we folded it. This line is called the line of symmetry. Let's try folding it again and again. Every time we fold the triangle so that each half is exactly the same as the other half, we have found another line of symmetry. We can say that the equilateral triangle has 3 lines of symmetry. For another example, let's look at this right triangle. On this right triangle, the sides and angles are not all congruent. Can we find a line of symmetry on this shape? Let's fold it. Try folding it again in other directions to see if there are any lines of symmetry. We can see that this right triangle has 0 lines of symmetry, so we consider this right triangle asymmetrical. Let's look at a different right triangle. This triangle has 2 sides and 2 angles that are congruent. Do you see a line of symmetry on this triangle? If not, to make it easier, let's try rotating it. We can see that this right triangle does have a line of symmetry. For our last example, let's look at a rectangle. Is there a line of symmetry on a rectangle? If so, where is it? Let's try folding the rectangle in half on the shortest side. Is there more than one line of symmetry? Can the rectangle be folded diagonally to find the line of symmetry? No. Now let's try folding the rectangle on the longest side. We can see that a rectangle has 2 lines of symmetry. Our objective in this lesson was to find a line or lines of symmetry in two-dimensional figures. We met this objective by looking at two-dimensional shapes and determining if there is a line of symmetry, and if so, how many lines of symmetry does the shape have.